What it is, my 10 Peace and Grease here, and today I'm going to be talking about the little of the MR changes. Now, it's no secret that I have long been a proponent to change of the mastery rank system. And this wasn't change for the sake of change, this was change due to the fact that the game had continued to evolve, and mastery rank had not. It was kind of stuck in its antiquated ways. Now, I know a ton of players that have been at the same MR for literal years, and the reason for this is because there was really no benefit to go beyond it. There's no legitimate gains for actually interacting with mastery rank. So the question becomes, should you now care about mastery rank? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to try and answer that question for you. Before we get started, I do want to be clear here that credit where credit is due. Kudos to DE. I mean, listen, I get as frustrated as the next guy or gal with DE as far as some of the decisions made surrounding the game and some of the backlash and drama. It seems like we can at times see that coming from a mile away, and DE kind of, unfortunately, seems oblivious to it at times. And it just sucks, particularly when you really love a game and you see this coming and you're just like, oh, that was such a bad decision. But I think it's important to bear in mind that DE is a group of human beings, and we're all imperfect creatures, and sometimes they make piss poor decisions, and sometimes they make bad choices. It happens. You learn from it and you move on. That's really the focus. But whenever I see DE actually taking feedback and constructive criticism from the community and actually implementing change for the better in the game, it kind of refreshes me a little bit. So, like I said, though, it does seem selective at times, but kudos to DE. That's freaking awesome to see. I love when this kind of stuff happens. Like I said, it almost kind of, like I said, refreshes me whenever it does. Particularly when you consider there's so many developers out there that just don't give a rat's ass about their community, like, I don't know, Bungie. So yeah, it's nice. All right, so let's get into this and take a look at mastery rank. So you get 50 more void trace capacity here. Here's the deal: 50 doesn't really even refine up one relic to radiance. So I'm kind of confused on the number. Why just 50? 100? But maybe they're going for the total number versus actually the amount you're going to be able to, of relics you're going to be able to refine. If that's the case, it's fine. But yeah, 50, it just seems like an odd number. Next, you get one base mod capacity, and that'll be pretty much good for any build. 5,000 focus limit. Here's the deal: most of your experienced and veteran players, those at MR30, they're probably going to have their focus schools exactly where they want them and maxed out. So I think that the 5,000 focus limit will probably be more beneficial to an intermediate player, but, it is what it is. Next up, we get 750 daily standing for your factions. I use my syndicates quite a lot, for example, and I am now up to, with the 750, I'm now up to a total of 31,000 standing I can gain every single night, as you see here. I'm currently in the process of getting all four of my syndicates back up to max rank, but the problem, again, comes down to the numbers. Why 750? Like, the cheapest thing in a syndicate is a Spectre or a Sigil. They're 2,500 standing apiece. So why 750? Again, it may boil down to the total number. Maybe DE shooting for a nice round number, and so yeah, maybe that's the thing, and that's fine. Next up, you get 15 loadout slots. Why wouldn't you use them? You should be. It makes life so much easier, at least in my opinion. I can leave a mission, get ready to do a completely different mission, flip through my loadouts, and just snap of a finger. Completely different weapons, Warframe, builds, the whole 9 yards. It makes it so nice and easy. Next up, we get a chat emoji, and the chat emoji looks good. It's a nice touch. It's a nice addition. I like it. I think it's well done. The problem is I feel braggadocious when I use it, and I can definitely see people getting called out for using this. Like, yo, dude, nobody gives a shit you're MR30. Stop spamming that emoji, right? Like, I can definitely see that happening. So I don't know how often I would use it. I like it. I don't know. Maybe I'd use it occasionally in trade chat to really kind of accent my ad. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's going to differ player by player. But yeah, there you have it. Next up, we have slates, which is what you see here on the ground behind me. These start at MR1 and obviously go up to MR30, and they're a ship decoration. I think players maybe that don't have a lot of ship decorations could probably do some pretty cool shit with these. I thought about running them along the window edge there on the ceiling on both sides. But yeah, I'm overkill on ship decorations at the moment. But yeah, I think it's a nice little touch there as well. Next up, we get a Samdali. What the hell is a Samdali? I'm glad you asked. Some dolly you're going to find under equipment and orbiter and landicraft. So yes, we now have a Mercedes-Benz or Bentley hood ornament, as you can see here. And listen, as simple as this is, I freaking dig it, right? I do. I dig it. Maybe it's because I'm a car guy. Maybe it's because I'm easily amused. Maybe it's because of both of those things, but I freaking dig it. I do. And you know, it's going to help kind of accent your orbiter from everybody else's, like in a load screen, for example, particularly if you're running a very popular landing craft. Next up, we have the True Master emote. All right, so here's the deal. This is just a very plain emote. It needs flair. This is probably not an emote that I would run because of how plain it is, particularly when you look at something like, you know, the Tenacon 2019, you know, or the Tenacon 2020, or even the New War here. Hell, even True Steel, as plain in carbon copy as those were, even that, like with the Void, for example, even that looks better, or has more flair to it than the True Master emote does. Hell, even the Wolf Howl has a little bit of flair to it, and that's really what the True Master emote needs, because it's probably not something I would use. It's a nice touch, but I think they all need a little flair. Maybe they need to somehow throw up a number, you know, or image or something like that. I don't know, but it needs something. Next up, let's talk about the things that people are actually going to probably care about. The first of which are the 30 ribbon mod slots. And on the surface, this seems like a great thing. The problem is it's indicative of a bigger problem. What's the bigger problem? Well, I'm glad you asked. So 30 ribbon mod slots. Look, I've been in this situation as well myself, where I continually hit the cap for ribbon mods. I've had to go into the market and buy ribbon mod slots, right? I get it. I do. The problem here is that, well, let me ask this simple question. Is there a cap on amalgam mods? No? Okay. Is there a cap on primed mods? No? Okay. Is there a cap on umbral mods? No? Alright. Well, how about this? Is there a cap on Parazon mods? No? Okay. You see my point? I could do this actually for quite a while. There's a lot of unique mods in the game. The problem here is that no other mod in the game has a cap. And so it makes no logical sense for only ribbon mods to have a cap. If somebody wants to have 1,800 ribbon mods, who does it hurt? Nobody. Let them. There shouldn't be a cap. Remove the cap. That's the problem. Next up, we have probably the number one reason why most people are going to now chase MR, and that is Umbral Forma. Yes. You get, at MR30, you get 3 Umbral Forma in one fell swoop. And this is nice. It's good to have. But again, I think there's a bigger issue here, and that is there's no real legitimate way to actually farm Umbral Forma, right? Like, there should be a way to actually just farm it up. And I don't feel like there's really that kind of service or event in this game right now that does that. I mean, you can't go to the market and buy it, when that's a good thing, trust me. But yeah, it's nice to have, but I wish that there was a way to earn it reliably. Next up, we have the Relay Blessing. And this is a really freaking cool feature, period, the end, but it's not without its flaws. The first problem, and well, before I talk about the issues with the Relay Blessing, let's talk about what type of Relay Blessings there are. So the first Relay Blessing here is you can get a increase to shields, an increase to health, an increase to damage, and then there's booster style blessings, which are your credit, your affinity, and then a drop chance. Why not just a regular resource? Why a drop chance? I don't know. I don't get that. But with it all being said and done, there are some issues here. The first of which is the simple fact that they only last 3 hours, right? In fact, why not 6 hours, right? I'm not asking for half a day. I'm not asking for a full day. I'm asking for 3 measly hours. Or excuse me, 6 measly hours. That's nothing in the grand scheme. The next problem is the fact that There's no notification when you do bless a relay, right? There's nothing. There should be a net notification that pops up that says this player has blessed this relay with this blessing for the next X 6 hours, right? But there's nothing. I would bet you most players that have been on a relay never even knew they had a blessing unless they happen to look at their buffs up here. That I would guarantee you that they wouldn't know. The other thing is, why can't... I think that the blessings should be extended to the open world public spaces. So, for example, Deimos, Fortuna, and Cetus, right? People there are running bounties, they're fishing, they're hunting, they're mining. Having the ability to bless those locations, I think, are going to be very beneficial to those players, in my opinion. So I think it should be extended to that. But anyway, my 2 cents there. The next problem is the strength. So as far as the shields, health, and damage goes, it's 25%. That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It just doesn't matter. This needs to be jacked up to 40% bare minimum. 40%. People, even if they aren't aware that they have a blessing, would say, "Oh, hey, why are my weapons hitting so much harder? Why is my health higher? Why is my shields higher?" They would be noticeable, right? Next up is the boosters. All right. Here's the problem with the booster blessings, booster style blessings, I should say. And that is that they're only a quarter of a regular booster. Only a quarter. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that they're going to have to be, the blessings are going to have to be less of a booster than a booster. I get that. Right? I make no mistake. I understand that. But I can already hear the defense and people saying, well, DE's afraid that people will stop buying boosters if the blessings are really good. Okay, I see that. And I understand that the blessings always have to be less than a regular booster. Totally understand that. Totally get that. However, it is completely illogical to assume that people aren't going to buy boosters if they have a blessing. In fact, I just proved that already. With the last update, with all the influx of new equipment, I actually went to a relay, blessed the relay with an affinity blessing, then I turned around, came in, bought an affinity booster, and leveled my gear. So it doesn't make any sense. The boosters are always, in fact, even if I had a credit blessing and I was farming credits, let's say I was running index like a mad dog to get back up to 40 million where I was previously, right? I'm still going to buy a credit booster. Resources, which doesn't really apply here, but if I'm farming a specific resource, even if there was such a thing as a resource blessing, I would still buy a resource booster. It just doesn't make any sense. So the amounts. Affinity, 100% doubles your affinity gains. Credit booster, 100% doubles your credit gains. Resource booster, which doesn't apply here, but resource booster doubles your resource gains, 100%, right? A booster style blessing is only 25%. So here's what needs to happen. Here's the changes that are needed. In regards to the health, shields, and damage blessings, those need to be increased to 40%. Period, the end. End of discussion. Next up, the affinity, the credit, and the drop chance booster. Screw that thing. But these all need to be upped to 60% of a regular booster. Period, the end. Again, and the duration needs to be jacked up to 6 hours. Period, the end. That would make these an extremely desirable blessing. All right? People would actually care. Period, the end. People would actually want a blessing. But it's not going to prevent them from buying boosters, trust me. The people that buy boosters are going to continue to buy boosters because of how effective they are, because they're the best thing in the game as far as, increasing your affinity, your credit, or your resource gains. A blessing is not going to prevent that, and I think we need to be clear about that. And again, DE can take a month, look at the stats, and see if anybody stopped buying boosters because of blessings, right? And I think you're going to find out that that's incorrect. People are still buying boosters at the same rate they were before blessings came into this game. So, that's kind of my 2 cents on the topic. That's really what needs to be changed to make these blessings actually worth a damn. Because at this rate, unfortunately, most of these blessings just don't matter. That's just the reality of the situation. But with all that being said, those are kind of my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. I respond to everybody that does. And until next time, peace out.